Welcome to Bonehead Weekly, and James was about to unbutton his shirt. Please,
So button
James,
it more or at left? I don't know. I don't
unbutton
know.
it, James.
I
Show
don't
off the
know.
crowd.
I don't know
Show
what the
those.
I don't know what the fan prefers.
Ha 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 ha. Me. Ah!
Is that Wesley Snipes and De Niro? Is that the fan?
I think so. Yeah. I've never seen it.
Oh, really?
I don't
I
think
have,
so.
but it's been so long I couldn't. I get it, and that what's the Boston Celtic Pride? That was Daniel Stern. I get them
Yeah,
confused.
the Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen that either.
Oh, yeah. Now see that. I can forgive you not watching the fan, but not watching Celtic
I think
Pride.
those tonally are two different films. Is the fan may actually be directed by Tony Scott, the late great Tony Scott.
I think you're right. I mean, it's been literally,
And
I
I've never seen that picture. I thought I've seen all of Tony Scott's movies, but I don't think I've ever seen that. And the fact that we're talking about this right now must mean but only one thing, well, two things. One, James has unbuttoned his top button to show off the sexy. And two, if you're listening out there, let me get my voice just correct for this. Chad is missing. Chad isn't
well,
here.
Chad's not here. Do we want to throw around the term missing?
I mean, I'm not missing him. He's finally having that rhinoplasty that we've begged him to have for years.
That is what will make him into a rhino, right? I don't look
I was
towards,
going to say, I actually texted him and said, I hope they give him the full Carl Malden. And he said he was going for the Walter Matthau, as I recall.
oh,
You
but
keep
now,
Carl Malden away from my cocaine.
but now the problem with that is the
There's lots
Mathau
of problems.
nose without the Mathau jowls doesn't work.
Yeah, and the voice. Chad doesn't have
Yeah,
a voice for, Chad has a voice
no.
for,
Silent film.
yeah, that's a good comeback. I don't know why I couldn't think of that because that was really low hanging fruit.
That's what I always say for myself. There's a reason that this hasn't propelled me into DJ work.
Well, the reason is the season, and I think they don't work, and that's the problem.
There's a reason for,
That's
I
an
don't know the
inside for a
rest of the
joke for
lyrics.
just James.
I don't know the rest of the lyrics. There's a reason. Something about all living things. I don't know. I
In
don't.
the heaven, I see trees are green.
No, no.
Now,
I was at what is what? There's a what?
under
Who's
the
saying that?
sun, I don't know. I'm not good with music or names or faces or just facts or random trivia. I live in a constant state of, see, I don't even know how to finish the sentence. Are you here, James? Dead air,
Yeah,
James.
I'm
Dead air.
sorry.
What are you looking
Evidently,
up?
there is it by the Cascades. There's a reason. There's a reason for a snowfall. I don't know if that's the right song or
I
not.
don't think I thought you were doing the birds.
Oh, the birds. That's you're probably right. I bet that's it. I bet there's
You
this
know
other
what?
one.
As many drugs as I mean, as many drugs I have not done them. Why do I remember that? And one of us has a PhD and doesn't.
Well, it's not in music. I don't have a PhD in music.
You have a PhD in sexy if you don't button the next button.
I want to do. Nobody gets it anymore. I did it to my kids, and of course they didn't get it. But the old Saturday Night Live skit where Antonio Banderas hosts it is too sexy. Oh no, no, please, no, it is too sexy.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I
Now
must.
you say things to your children like and it's not Froggy with Gordon. Sorry. What is it? A food will be, what is it?
There'll be food around the corner.
There'll be food
Food
around the
around the
corner. There'll
corner.
be food
Food
around the
around the
corner.
corner.
Which is not as
Food around the
funny as
corner
Hambone,
for me.
which
Lord
I
of
can't
mercy,
believe,
honey.
which I
I
can't believe you all didn't know Hambone from Tom and Jerry until
I
I
did. I wasn't.
introduced
I
you.
don't watch. I was never a big Tom and Jerry kid. I'll be honest.
But that one's pure comedy
It
gold.
is. That's a good one. That's the good one. I'll give you that
I
one. That
don't
is.
disagree on that. Well, Hambone, Froggy with a Gordon, Hambone. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, for those tweens out there that tune in every week to listen to middle-aged
Yeah.
men drink and talk about how movies aren't as good as they used to be.
There's some movie. You know what I watched, Joe, and this is not anything to do with our topic, but I watched The Phoenician Scheme and enjoyed the living
Dude,
daylights out of it.
is that not good? That's his
I
best movie in years.
I
I watched
couldn't
it by
stop
myself
laughing.
and was laughing down here by myself. That's how you know it's a good comedy. when you're
I
by
was
yourself in your basement, I mean, okay, when you're by yourself in your basement, I forget, literally a trigger warning on that one, and you just start laughing, right?
well, so I was half asleep. I didn't know if I'd make through, but I was like, "Oh, we'll put it on." Dana and I were
It took me
watching.
2 nights because I was half asleep too, but
I was about half asleep, and Dana was like, "You keep laughing yourself awake," and I'm like, "Yes, I do," because like, the entire it it was even in the trailer, but I laughed so hard when it got to the part where he comes up with this the dynamite. Michael Cera. This was in the cockpit. What's the
yeah,
timer on it? 15 minutes. Oh, we're landing in 10. I'm not concerned.
I'm not. That doesn't concern me. Now, and he
Yeah,
says it.
that
I'm
doesn't
not. It
concern.
is. It's like
Yeah,
I don't see this as a concern or whatever it was. Yeah, yeah, and it's even bloody. It's
yeah,
like when
yeah,
his
yeah.
one
It's a
assistant.
repeated line.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's it. I
yeah,
highly recommend it. It's a Wes Anderson's best film in years.
yeah. Probably since Royal Tenenbaums. I
Uh,
like his other films.
yeah, I
I like
like
his
them,
other
but
films, but I laughed harder at the Phoenician scene. The last time I laughed that hard at a Wes Anderson film was Tenenbaums.
it gets a little too heady with the fight at the end between him and Cumberbatch. But yeah, and the grenades.
Yeah, yeah.
You want a grenade?
Please take a grenade.
Please
Oh,
take a
thank you.
grenade.
But I already have one.
Yeah, I already brought my grenades. It's the
I
Phoenician
think it's
scheme.
a.
I
I
don't.
think it's a.
I just think
I think
that
it's a peace offer. Sorry.
Benicio del Toro, just whatever it was, he just was born to play that part. He nailed it. It's just
Yeah,
perfect casting.
yeah. I couldn't stop. Ever, like I said, about half asleep. And I kept what it would get to a part where I couldn't stop laughing, and I'd be awake for another 20 minutes until it got to another part where I couldn't stop laughing. I was, and I can't summarize it because it's just
No, it's hard to talk about, and I'm wrong. I'm not wrong that third act, and I'm not complaining about it, but it's very heady of the final battle and how it kind of happens, and it kind
yeah,
of just ends.
yeah.
And it's hard. It's a guy putting together some sort of scheme about money,
Money laundering, sort
money
of, but
laundering.
not
Yeah,
really because he's the one
he,
that's the money. Yeah,
and he
Mister
doesn't really
5%.
learn. I can't say that he goes on a character arc journey, even
No,
though he
he,
does end up kind of loving his daughter, but he kind
yeah,
of did from the jump.
yeah. Well, because she's going to get everything if
Hmm.
something happens to him, and all those. Why do you adopt some of these kids? I'm just hoping they'll turn out better than the ones I have.
Have yeah, and the kid with the bow and arrow.
Oh, and arrow, yeah, just thump, and it's random throughout it. I can't like it's one of those films. It took Wes Anderson to get that movie made. I can't imagine if it was you or me. If
No,
that was our first production, and we went, okay, well, here's the plot. There is one, but there's not. And then, but I could not stop.
it's
I
fun.
would,
And the whole basketball scene too with Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston and hitting the shots. And why on earth would it ever possess him that he could win the game?
yeah, yep.
I like our odds.
But yeah, you're right. The repeated line. I'm not too concerned, or I'm not concerned
I'm not
about this.
concerned. I'm not.
Yeah, no, I want to watch it again. So anyway,
Yeah. Sorry, I no, it's funny that you and I don't know if Chad's watched it or not, but you and I are totally on point on this. I was half-heartedly and could not find anything else to watch. And truthfully, I watched the first episode of this season of South Park and I did laugh, but I also got so kind of depressed because it was so accurate of where we're at now,
yeah,
because that's what Trey and Matt do.
yeah, yeah,
And they just put it in poop and fart jokes. And it's I was kind of I couldn't watch another episode.
yeah. No, I agree. And that's my entire thing. I know. And for those that are listening to this, if you don't know this, like they hate Family Guy,
Hmm.
and the Trey and Matt both they have said multiple times they don't find Family Guy funny. And I think it's because those are totally so opposite shows. Like Simpsons is somewhere in the middle
Yeah.
between the two of them, but Family Guy is so farcical that it makes commentary, but it doesn't weigh you down in it. Like there's tons of commentary, but it's
Yeah.
then immediately erased by a cutaway gag. And I've realized I need that cutaway. I need because
Sometimes, yeah.
you're right. I
I
need it.
think what depressed me wasn't necessarily how accurate they got the pumpkin, it was how accurate they got me of, and now most of America's just ignoring it
Yeah. Oh, and that's it. Yeah, yeah. I could.
because they're just beat down.
Yeah, yeah.
And It's not inaccurate for me.
No, well, I mean, I listen, and I told somebody this last week. Oddly enough, I'm apolitical in a lot of ways, but I'm seeing people lose jobs, and that scares me largely because I
Yeah.
want to keep my job.
I don't
I
know
did
why.
my job as a hand model for those medical
What kind of hand
ads where they
model?
have me put on gloves.
Yeah.
For medical gloves where I have to snap them on.
Snap
This
on.
glove will fit right up in there.
Do we need to do the
That's our
topic?
slogan. Yeah, I guess we probably should. We're
Oh,
about 4 hours
there is
in
something.
now.
We're at minute 15. There is something I did want to say though. We are, and I haven't talked to James and Chad about this, so I'm hoping neither you won't argue. And since Chad's gone, we can outvote him. I do think this us missing this deadline because of our schedules is probably a good time for us to change when we do drop the episode because Sunday's kind of the death nail. We've done it for so many years, but for
Yeah,
podcasts, it's not the best time. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday in the middle of the
yeah,
week, usually early in the morning for commute time.
yeah.
So, just for our listeners, this will probably come out later this week unless James has a problem with this, and I don't
No,
think
I don't
Chad would
care.
either. I know. So we're probably going to pick it's probably going to be Wednesday or Thursday, and we're going to see because we're trying to up our numbers a little bit. We appreciate some of you have been listening to us almost literally for 8 years, and we couldn't thank you enough. I have no idea what's wrong with you, but we appreciate you.
Do you think we should do Wednesday just so I can make Chad say the slogan? It's Hump Day with the Boneheads.
Sure, if it makes
I
you
don't.
happy.
I mean, I just want Chad to say it
Yeah.
because he'll be so excited to say it. You know.
So Chad really is having surgery. He's going to be fine. We hope, kind of. I mean, he's not
Well, I
sick.
mean, he's gonna be like he was before. I don't know if
It
we should
just
say
he's going to
fine.
have a larger his pecs. I've never
Yeah.
met a man that's so obsessed with his pecs.
What's really weird is why did he choose to have his buttocks removed and put up there? You would think he'd want them buttocks.
You would think, but we know the reason. No, we're not going to tell you, listener, but we know the reason. So,
Vanity, thy name is Chad.
that being said, James had the best idea for a show. So we've had to do this before. James has been out, Chad's been out. One of them, we always make fun of the other one when they're out, but we do kind of, we're okay with Chad. I don't want to use the word love for many reasons, copious reasons, but
Court dates
Chad,
will be missed.
yeah.
Cycle repeats.
Cycle repeats itself as we miss court dates. But James had the good idea of we should do a quick bonehead without Chad that we'll release the middle of this week just to talk about. And it's a good idea. Shows that went on without the main character, or at least one of the main characters, and they
Yeah,
did it for a minute,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
who's your first?
I mean, the one that came to mind that automatically made me think of because it ran for a while and it was huge that it happened the way it did was Two and a Half Men.
Yeah, oh my God. It was still a big hit after
Yeah,
Charlie Sheen was gone. I think Ashton Kutcher did another 2 or 4 seasons on that show.
yeah, it ran. I mean, yeah, it wasn't oh, we're going to wrap it up in one season. It ran
I, man,
and
how many I
and was
why
still highly rated. I mean, was still had good viewership.
yeah.
Um,
What how why talk for a second while I look that up because I'm kind of curious how long
well, so if you don't know,
how
um,
many seasons did
the
2.5 Men run after Charlie Sheen left? Thank you, AI. I was always your friend.
so Charlie Sheen left after season 8, right? And
Yeah,
then
after
so
the eighth season.
season 9 introduced Walden Schmidt, which was Ashton Kutcher's
12, four
character.
more seasons. I was
Yeah.
right.
And the weird part about it, I remember watching the first episode because I'm like, how are they going to do this? Basically, Ashton Kutcher's character buys the house and just decides, because he's a billionaire or whatever, and he
To
just is
keep the
bored,
brother,
and he just decides that John Cryer and the son can stay.
which is a little interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, in all fairness, it's one of those things that just don't think about it. Like, I mean, that
Mhm.
that pretty much was, and I'm blanking on who's the showrunner on that did Big Bang Theory that has had more hits than.
Charles, no, what's his name? Oh my
Oh,
gosh, he
can't believe I'm
wrote.
blanking on it.
Yeah, he gave man. There are so many shows. Mom.
He pretty much is the Norman Lear of today,
Yeah, he really
as
was
far
in the
as his
2000s.
success rate.
Yeah, late 90s through the 2000s. Oh, Chuck Lorre.
Chuck Lorre, yeah.
Chuck Lorre.
Um, but yeah, if you don't know why, go back and watch it on YouTube. It's hilarious.
Hmm.
Uh, Charlie Sheen went a little crazy and
Yeah.
talks about how much he hated being on it, and then said that he had tiger blood and that he was Adonis and all this other stuff came out, and yeah, I mean, him and Chuck Lorre just got into it, and Charlie Sheen said, "I don't want to do the show anymore," and
Yeah,
um,
that's absolute. Well,
Chuck
and he
Lorre
was
said
just
we
on
can arrange
drugs.
that and just cut him,
Yeah.
killed him off.
Yeah, and they did. They killed him. They didn't bring him back. And then the final episode of it was more of his death, where they
Yeah,
tried to bring him back and he kept getting, yeah, it's,
yeah,
yeah, they killed him.
yeah,
He was the highest paid TV. I think Charlie Sheen may go down as, at the time for 2.5 Men, as the highest paid sitcom star of all time
yeah,
at the moment. Does that sound right?
yeah. I think
I
so.
think,
Yeah,
I don't
Get-
think, like, I'm trying to think of phrase, Kelsey Grammer. I don't think any of them come close. I don't think Seinfeld, as far as per episode, I'm sure back
perfect.
end.
Yeah,
But and I don't think the Friends actors, I don't think any of them made as much as Charlie Sheen did.
yeah. Which so the in the short term, the ratings ended up like they were strong went first and then they dipped again, but then they rebounded again. I'm looking at a little bit about it. And so what it actually did cause in some ways was there was a media frenzy because Charlie Sheen went on that, I think he called it his victory tour, where he would burn parts of his costumes,
Yeah,
his shirts from the show on
because he
stage.
hated
And
wearing them apparently.
yeah, and he did this tour where it was him basically just talking about everything he hated.
But
Um,
also, those it's actually kind of how I dress slightly in real life. So it's always like, "What are you talking about, dude? Those clothes are sick."
yeah, those are fantastic.
Oh my
Um,
God.
but it actually also led to some commentary about when you build a show. One of the things that some people have argued is it's why we got a stream of shows that didn't have or weren't as reliant on one character.
Yeah.
Because if you look at what followed, like Modern Family, some of those shows worked really well because, quite frankly, I mean, yes, Ed O'Neill obviously was a major part of it, but if Ed O'Neill would have lost his mind, they could pivot and follow this or
Yeah.
follow that and
You
so
can
I
follow
think
this
there's some people that
and you can follow that.
um, yeah, there's some people that have argued that's why a lot of shows like that started was because media had a moment where they're like, oh, we have to rectify what happens with this. If you have a star driven show, you're relying on that star. And that's a different environment. So yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
The other one, there's several. Let me go through. You got that one. Another one is Mayberry, RFD. I mean, Andy Griffith Show continued after Andy left.
Yep.
I'm not for sure for how long. Well, it continued till CBS axed every single one of those you were talking about Normal
Rural.
here.
Yeah.
All the rural comedy, they all came
Rural.
from Sherman. Oh my gosh,
I want to say Sherman
Sydney
Helmsley and
Sheldon,
then
Sydney Sheldon,
yeah.
Sheldon. They
Because Sherman
all
Helmsley is not right, but I
no,
would
no.
also
So they just axed every rural comedy they had on the docket that season, which was also Green Acres, Petticoat Junction, the oh gosh, what is the other one? There's a bunch. They just killed them all, and as successful, they killed them all.
yeah.
You want me to keep going because I have more.
Oh, yeah, I have got more too, but you want to do one? Yeah,
No,
that's fine.
no. Well, I don't want to. I know you've got one in particular. It wasn't the main character, but it was one of the leads. Kept going after. I'm assuming it's Stifle It.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, All in the Family. They had actually lost. Meathead had left. I could actually use actors' names, but
Yeah.
I mean, Little Girl had left, and
Hmm.
then arguably the heart of the show, Edith left.
Yeah.
All in the Family continued when it pretty much was Archie and his niece.
Yeah.
And other Gloria would come back and do cameo appearances. At one point, she had her own spinoff where she was a veterinarian.
I've
Um,
never seen that.
I've seen a few episodes of it. It's hard to find.
Hmm.
But and then so they ran it that way for a season or two, or for a season, and then it became Archie Bunker's place. And
Yeah.
Archie Bunker's place is actually where Edith dies. They do kill Edith off.
Right.
And that was, I mean, but it's one of the most heartbreaking episodes. The first episode they do without Gene Stapleton playing Edith. I argue it's one of the best half hours of television ever recorded. It's hard to find though because It was after it spun off. It's the second season of Archie Bunker's Place, and only the first season that's ever been put on DVD, which is a shame because once you start something, you should finish it so I can buy it.
I didn't realize that she did the first season.
She did the first season. She's not in it much. Like she'll be in more or less start of episode, end of episode, like when he goes back home when he does, or she'll appear at the. But they kind of knew then that, yeah, that it was going to wrap up.
Hmm.
So, or that she was not going to. And so when she decided ultimately to leave after they kill her, I mean, she died off screen. Like you just come back and it's him coming back from the funeral.
Yeah, you've told us about that. I'm trying to think of another one. Let's see. Red Sanford, Sanford Arms ran for the Red Fox show. I know it's called Sanford and Son, but it was a Red Fox show. Sanford and Son ran a whole other season or two without Demont Wilson. Demont Wilson.
Yep.
People forget about that one. Well, actually, I don't know if people forget about that. I don't know if the people. I don't. Well, actually, I don't think most people know that that's even a show
Yep.
where he
Yeah.
ran the hotel next door. Man, there's another one I'm missing. Oh, here's a big one that ran for several seasons after, and a main star was a huge star, The Office.
Yes. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of that one on the way home. Steve Carell left. That's another one I think ran almost 4 seasons after Steve Carell was gone. He came back for the final episode,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
You're absolutely right. I mean, it was, and they had it rotating cast for a
Mhm.
while. Who was? I mean, I
It was
think.
a thing. There was some A-list stars that came into play. Kathy Bates,
Yeah.
James Spader. I'm trying to think who
Ricky
else.
Gervais cameoed as right. Am I?
Yeah, as people who came in to try to be the boss. Yeah, who
Yeah.
came in to take the job as a boss. Yeah,
Yeah.
to run
I tell
Dunder
you.
Mifflin.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can remember. I mean, that was a huge. I mean, and there's other ones. One that nobody talks about anymore, but I remember was a huge deal. I was young. I was 6 or 7 when this started, and it was a huge deal. And it changed names multiple times as the show went on, but it was always the same show. It was Valerie,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Valerie, and then Valerie's family,
And
and
then
then
the
the
Harper
Hogan
family,
family,
Hogan family. Yeah, it was the Hogan family.
the
I
Hogan
forgot
family.
all about that one. That one actually, oddly enough, it's not Me TV, but if you have the antenna, that one shows on one of those channels, like classic, whatever, because I'll flip it through every once in a while, probably once every few months, and it does. Yeah.
But did you know the entire history of that? It's fascinating,
No,
and it
no,
actually has ramifications in how sitcoms work today.
no.
So, 1986 TV show premieres on March 1st. It would be what we would consider kind of a replacement series
Mm-hmm.
because most series premiere in the fall. It premieres in March 1st, 1986. Valerie, and it was just called Valerie, and it followed Valerie Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Valerie Harper was played Valerie Hogan.
Yeah.
She was a working mom raising 3 kids or 3 sons. They were all
Mm-hmm.
sons. Um, because Bateman, right? Jason Bateman was one of
Jason
her sons.
Bateman. I didn't realize Jason Bateman's Jason Bateman and the dad are the ones that survived all the iterations of the
Yeah.
show, as I recall.
So it was meant to be a family sitcom. It was high in its ratings the first 2 seasons, but by 1987, there started to be disputes on set. There were salary disputes, there was creative arguments, and Harper's actual husband conveniently was the supervising producer.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Tony. I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce it, but Cassiati,
Tony
Cacci
Brickerleg.
Iotti, Cassiati, I
Yeah,
think.
you said TT. Keep going.
Uh, but
That's all I
so
got, James.
as the
Crying
supervising
for help
producer
here.
and her husband, he started to argue with her, of course, that they needed to have a higher per episode pay. The show was a big enough hit, and really what they wanted was syndication rights. They
Yes.
wanted a percentage of syndication rights because the show was doing so well. And NBC was already talking about, oh, as soon as we get enough episodes, we'll put this in syndication and it'll make money. It'll make more money. Well, so Laura Marr was the studio producing, NBC was the network, yada yada, and everything turned south. Everybody soured, everybody got mad. So in the summer of 1987, allegedly Harper and Cassiati both walk off set.
Mm-hmm.
Just nope, we ain't doing it. We're not filming. We're not doing anything. Allegedly, I wasn't there.
Right.
but they miss and cause the cancellation of several tapings, which immediately causes the studio to go, nope,
Breach
that's
of
not going to
contract.
happen. So Laura Marr comes in, and Laura Marr, not NBC, Laura Marr says, no, we're cutting Valerie Harper, we're cutting her from the show. They do this by, again, it's Chuck Lorre wasn't the first to do this. They just begin the next season by explaining that Valerie Hogan died in a horrible car accident off screen. Um, and so they dropped Harper's name entirely, and the show then became um, Valerie's Family, and then they briefly retitled it Valerie's Family, The Hogans,
Yeah.
and Sandy Duncan, which is what I remember. Sandy Duncan joined the cast
Yes.
as Valerie's sister-in-law. She played Valerie's sister-in-law, who was coming to help the family, so they eventually drop Harper entirely, and it becomes the Hogan Family. Now, here's what's really funny if you're a media nerd and why this is still relevant. 1987, 1988, this all goes to trial
Mm-hmm.
because Harper and Cassiotti come back and they sue Laura Marr and bring NBC into it because Laura
Yeah.
Marr had fired them, but they say, nope, NBC violated their contract with us as well. September of 1988, Laura Marr is found responsible for wrongful termination of Harper and awarded her at the time, it was a pretty big deal for network television. She got $1.4 million immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then she got 12.5% of the show's profits from then on.
For not going to her job.
Um,
Man, I wish I could get that deal next week.
so the core finding was that she got money for wrongful termination, then all monetary profit participation awards going forward. She though turns around and says it's the principle of the thing and donated that money to charity.
Oh my gosh.
The show continued till 1991.
I didn't realize it was on that long.
It ran 110 episodes, which guaranteed it what, Joe?
Syndication, so we can
Syndication.
still see it. It's 100 episodes. There's actually some TV that's in syndication that never actually hit 100. One
Star
of the
Trek's one.
one Star Trek Alf actually only hit 90 some episodes, but that's another one that if we ever did some behind the scenes of, and I'm sure there's a lot of YouTubers out there that already done, it's one of the most vile, hate-filled sets of television of all time, I'm told, or have been
Yep.
told, or read. Everyone hated it. Everyone hated working on the show, which is funny considering how much I loved it as a kid. Star Trek, there's only 60,
70. It depends on how you count the cage and the menagerie, but 70 some episodes.
30 some episodes. Yeah, so it's never hit 100, but it's never not been in syndication.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is how it actually survived,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
had it not been for syndication, we would have
Oh,
lost Star Trek.
well, it's been gone. It'd
Yeah.
been lost in space. Well, actually, still, it'd be Space 1999.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, by the way, it's coming up on its 50th anniversary or something.
Yes, it
They're
is.
actually doing a convention for it, and I'm like, I would almost like to be a fly on the wall with a space.
I would like
Who's
to go
going
to
to
that
come?
too.
Who's
Yeah,
going?
just to
I'm
get some
interested.
crowd. The crowd could give you some real details about the Gettysburg Address because they attended it.
By the way, if you're not familiar with Space 1999, it's a fascinating concept. I mean,
I actually don't know that I've probably only ever seen spits and spurts of it, bits and pieces. It came out in the late 70s. It's another one of those that was trying to, ride the coattails of a certain star movie, and it wasn't Trek.
black hole.
Black hole sun, won't you come
But it's really
wash
funny
away the rain?
that we have because Gene Stapleton, oddly enough, wanted to leave, as you brought up, All in the Family.
Yeah.
Wanted to leave All in the Family because she felt she had done it long enough, and then ended up being the one of the cast members that was outlived Archie,
Hmm.
outlived Carol O'Connor. And so it's but you have people willingly leave the show willingly adapts to it, and then you do get the Charlie Sheen, Valerie Harper kind of dynamics, and the show goes on without them, and is pretty successful in both these cases.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's You would think, I can't remember when Ron Howard left Happy Days, but Ron Howard hadn't been the star of Happy Days probably since season two.
Yeah,
I mean, he was always top billed, but the real star was always Henry.
Henry Royce, who wasn't meant was meant to be a bit part.
Bits is just what happened. The Fonz blew up.
Yeah,
There's
as he
just so
should have.
right. You can't stop that. The writers can do the best they can, but as syndicate or as television goes on or series, which is different now with streaming because they do all 8 or 10 or 13 episodes and then they lay them out there. So there's not room to adapt. But when you're doing a week, when you're doing 20, oh man, 20s syndication for some of those Trek things, like it's almost 30 episodes a season, right? For syndicated,
Yeah, yeah, and that was actually one of the
like Deep
things
Space
that.
Nine or Voyager or Next Generation, it's at least 26, 28 episodes a season.
Yeah, and there was somebody pointed that out not too long ago. Actually, several people pointed out that with like you were saying, the way streaming works, none of these shows have time to breathe. Like you
They
don't
don't,
get the feedback before it's just
well,
done.
they have time to breathe. They're shot and then released. And what happens is maybe a year later before they do 8 episodes, they're not continuously
Hmm.
the you so Kevin Pollak has said the best job you can have is a sitcom. Well, I don't know that that really exists anymore, but I get what he was saying. You know, you have a table read one day, you shoot maybe the rehearsal, and then you shoot the show Friday night, and you might work 3 or 4 days, and you kind of get the lines down. If you're part B or C, you have a page, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
weekly, and it pays a lot. It doesn't really exist anymore so much. But if you're in a series like Law and Order or NS or NCIS, and you have an hour, and let's say, now you know what, Law and Order is a bad example. Let's say you're just doing Hill Street Blues or something like that. You can do 24, 26 episodes a season. It may take a week and a half. You're working 40, 50 weeks a year.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
you have, and so it's reactionary. So you can watch the audience react to this, react to that as you go and you go and you go. It's not all in done in the can. You're going as you go, and it's on the air. You may be shooting only 2 to 3 episodes in front of what's airing.
Yeah.
It's a
And so if somebody
machine.
responds
It's
really
really a
strongly,
machine. And that's the
yeah.
reason why so many people are able to make a living, especially writers that can't get a living now. And that's a whole other subject that we can't.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and I mean,
Because the
it
machine had to be fed.
yeah. Well, and that I mean, and that's one of the things that if and I know I bring up Harlan Ellison a lot, but him talking about there's a book that he did that talks about when he some of the low rent pulp magazines that he wrote for, and he did a retrospective, and it was called Honorable Whoredom at a Penny a Word.
Yeah, of course.
But one of the things he mentions there is you would do that, and then when they would pitch new shows, that's how he ended up doing City on the Edge of Forever for Star Trek. They would put together a sizzle reel, basically the same thing that eventually would become the commercial.
Yeah.
You would go to the studio and you would watch 20 of those, and you would go home and try to write scripts for as many of them as you could, so you could take those in the next Monday
Yeah.
and have a loose script idea, and they would say, okay, we'll pursue this one, we won't pursue this one. And so he wrote for a ton of different shows, but he got paid for a ton that he never got because they would be like, okay, well, we like this idea, redevelop it, and
And
then
Harlan
the
would
show
say
would get
they pay
canceled.
in cash.
Yes. Yeah.
Boy, how that
There's
business has changed.
a great line where he talks about when when he was literally struggling to make it very early on in his career, when he would, and I think this story's in one of the introductions to Honorable Whoredom at a Penny a Word too, where he knew there was a place it was before he moved out west when he was still in New York, and he said there was a little Italian restaurant that served every Friday. They had like a spaghetti dinner, and it was a Friday lunch special. It was like 15 cents, included like a beer or
Hmm.
a soda and a plate of spaghetti with
Yeah.
meatballs. And he said, I knew how many words I had to write to the letter to pay my rent and eat spaghetti that night.
Yep.
And you could do it because it was a penny a word. Well, how many words do I have to write today to eat tonight?
Yep.
Because you would take it in, they would sit there, okay, here's your money, go away. And
Okay.
often it was the same way. They would already have art drawn up
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh, this is
This is
going to be the
true for a
cover."
lot of B and Z, B and C and D level movies too.
Yeah, but they would have the cover
If the poster
of
done.
the magazine already paid for. They'd pay some artist next to nothing for it when they couldn't sell it somewhere else. And be, "Oh, this is our cover," and they, "Oh well, all right, I can write a story about a giant spider. Cool, yeah, or whatever." And so yeah, yeah. But anyway, back to this. I mean, but there's so many shows that
Well, the
had
machine doesn't exist anymore, is what we probably should be saying. The
yeah,
actual, so because you're now, you don't have to wait. You don't have to sit through diapers and canned good commercials or any of that. You don't have to wait to go to the bathroom in between commercials if there's a major television event
yeah,
because there's nothing that gets 30 million people watching at the same time. It doesn't exist anymore except for sports. The Super Bowl. That's it.
yep.
That's it. It's just sports. NFL playoffs, some basketball, some baseball playoffs. That's it. It's not the Oscars. It's
No,
not the go. There's no. Am I missing something?
no, it's odd that or not odd. It's funny that you mentioned the Oscars because even so much of that, I'm I'm a big movie nerd, and I used
But
to
we
watch
don't
the
watch it
Oscars.
anymore. When was the
Now
last time you watched
I
it?
catch the highlights.
I didn't know about Will Smith to the next day.
Yeah,
I just didn't.
I did see that live, but but
I
yeah, I
didn't.
mean, generally speaking, but so it's really funny though because I also think so much of what used to happen in sitcoms or in television shows or even movie franchises when they had to recast it, it was also a way to refresh your audience. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
an easy one to think about is the James Bond franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people that will debate, and if they say anything other than Sean Connery, they're wrong, but that will debate their favorite Bond. If Chad was here, he'd bring up Roger Moore right now.
Yeah. Just
Um,
to make the rest of us cringe, but yes.
but no, so I think that the nature of that is also the other side of it. I mean, it's the same thing with Batman films. Um, it's from Adam West forward. There's always been different ways to play that,
Yeah.
different ways to play. I mean, and now we've got R Pats. We're
Yeah.
getting other R Pats, maybe, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to get another. It really DC's confusing me. I know that it's not confusing. It's just that's a separate universe as opposed to what they're trying to build out with James Gunn.
Yeah.
And Batman is a character that is beloved, and I get that we're going to continue to get Batman movies and shows and whatnot in media because Batman's Batman, and
And James Gunn
Batman
has,
and then Superman are probably the two biggest superheroes of all time.
yeah, I would argue, I would agree with that. I mean, I think Superman's number one just simply because he's Superman.
But for today's time,
Yeah.
for a movie that will go open and make $1 billion, what other than Batman and Superman? Batman and Spider-Man.
Yeah. I would say
DC,
Spider-Man will be
Batman,
yeah, Batman,
and then
Spider-Man. And James Gunn, I saw where he said in an interview he struggles with what to do with Batman.
yeah, because it's been done
It's been done. It's been,
over,
I mean, we
over.
don't need another. And I actually will give credit, and I know people have mixed feelings about Batman, the last one, the Batman or
Yeah, they
whatever,
didn't do an origin story, thank God.
and it worked. It worked as it. If you want a Detective Comics Batman, there's your movie.
Yes. The only problem is the Penguin was far superior.
Yeah, the Penguin as a show is God,
I
it's
loved the
beautiful.
Penguin. Or as I called it, the Sopranos light. It was
Yeah,
so good,
yeah.
so good. Unfortunately, not open to. I mean, I can't let my kid watch it.
No, no, no. Oddly enough, I recommend it to my sister because
She has a
uh
thing for those kinds of feats.
no, she her significant other really likes The Sopranos. I'm like, watch it. It is so close
It is
without
very
being the
close.
same.
Yes, it is.
Without being the same. For
Absolutely.
being in the world of Batman is as close as you're going to get.
It is
And
very good.
she loved it, and she loved it all the way up until the end. And she goes, "Why did he have to?" I'm like, "Because that's who he is." Like you don't have to like the ending, but that ending makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, yeah, other shows, by the way, that have had people depart that handled it really well. I don't want people to come back and say we missed this. Doctor Who. You want to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about having a built-in methodology. And if you know anything about the history of that, the original actor who played him, and I'm blanking on the name,
I watched, there's a really good TV movie about that,
they
played by the
realized,
one great character actor from Harry Potter. But yeah,
yeah, they realized, what are we gonna do? And it was, we'll just have him regenerate.
yeah, it's just
It's
this simple.
brilliant.
It's just that simple, but it has worked now for 70 years.
Yeah,
Oh well.
yeah.
All right, we said we'd have a short episode. I think Doctor Who's probably not a bad way unless you've got another really good one. I think that's
Couple I want to say real quick because
yeah. Go ahead.
it changed the way the show worked. Trapper John left MASH. BJ
Yes.
Honeycutt.
Yeah.
BJ Honeycutt came on. Show didn't get it didn't change. I mean, it changed, but it worked. It made logical
They
sense.
literally killed off MASH. That's not the only one.
I
Didn't
know,
MASH
no,
kill off
they killed off the main character, not the main character, but I mean
the number 3 or 4 lead? And they
yeah,
didn't. He didn't just go home. He died in a helicopter
and
accident off screen.
surprised the cast, right? Because the
Mm-hmm.
story is Radar was given that line to say when he went in,
Mm-hmm.
and the only line they told Alan Alda that he was supposed to say, "Hey, Radar, if you're going to be in here, you need to put on a mask." And then he delivered that line, and they just responded to that line naturally. Is
Yeah,
how the
that's
story
a
goes.
great story.
So yeah, absolutely. Um, I want to mention Cheers, right? Diane leaves, Rebecca comes on.
Coach.
People had feelings about that.
Yeah, people have big feelings.
Coach,
Coach is another, and that wasn't Coach's fault. Coach fell dead,
yeah,
and they
yep,
recovered both. All right, I always preferred Kirstie Alley's character over the other one, but Coach is a great character. The problem is Woody's also a great character.
yeah. Well, and
You
I
imagine you'd have to be he's talked about it before. Woody Harrelson's talked about it before. You have to be pretty stupid, or young and naive is what I should say, ignorant of to realize the shoes you're filling.
yeah, yeah.
He's talked about it. He's like, yeah, people have feelings. I just, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, uh, in your 20s, you're like, yeah, I'll step into that. In your 40s or 50s, what in the hell am I about to get myself into?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You'd be too much in
Sometimes
your
it's
head.
sometimes it's best if you don't know what you're following.
Oh my gosh, ignorance, bliss,
Yeah,
so bliss.
and the last thing I'll say is we've talked about television shows predominantly, but and I mentioned James Bond. This has happened in movies too, right?
Mhm.
They recast, they redo, and it's an entire
Seems
you
like
can
Iron
do.
Man had a big recast on the second movie.
Yeah,
Nobody,
yeah.
we're
Some people still have feelings about that, as it turns out.
turns out it's just the one guy though.
But boy, he has big enough feelings
He
for
had
Paul.
big feelings.
But oddly enough, you mentioned Iron Man. That has also been true in the comic books, where these aren't actors, where they have had, Superman. We had the Death of Superman arc, and then they reintroduced four Supermen that replaced him, none of them being him,
Hmm.
of course. But Captain America in the comic books has been replaced by U.S. Agent at times, has been replaced by Bucky at times. Steve Rogers has had to step down. Um, uh, in the X-Men comics, you have the entire Jean Grey where she became Phoenix and then was
Hmm.
cloned and was Madeline Pryor, and we get into alternate time travel and all that stuff. And then I have to say this for Chad, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah, it's all right.
We also have Green Lantern. Green Lantern was Hal Jordan. There was the Parallax event when Doomsday destroyed the city that led to the death of Superman. He destroyed Green Lantern's town. Green Lantern lost his mind, later retconned to be possessed by evil, because people couldn't handle the idea that he would lose his mind that badly. He became a villain, and we got a new Green Lantern for a long time, and then eventually they restored Hal Jordan. But we had Kyle Rayner as the Green Lantern as well. So this idea of franchises and in comics and video games, there's other ones we could talk about. It seems like if you have anything long running, at some point, either due to legal issues, contract negotiation, or just needing to revive a franchise, you're gonna have to introduce something
It's all
new,
about money.
something else.
And most of the
Yeah,
time it's about money. Just FYI. I mean, and by the way, so is your life. So is your jobs. So are jobs that you leaving. It's no different. You left a job to go get more money at another job. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Somebody was interested in me. I emailed James about this morning. Turns out they want to pay me $4,000 less. So I'm not as interested. It's all the same thing.
it's money, it's prestige, it's power.
It's
You're
all the
going
same.
for something.
You're
You're
going for
going for
something.
something.
Yeah.
Or value. It's something that you value. If not
Something that
prestige,
is
money,
important to
power, it's
you that you
something.
are missing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or you want to leave some legacy or something. But
yeah,
I mean, yeah. I mean, we all do what we do for a reason. There's a reason graffiti is popular. People want to be remembered in some way, so they try to leave a mark.
yeah.
And so, yeah. If I mean, if again, I fully expect that eventually, I'll be doing this show with the help of Chat GPT. It's just me and Chat GPT having a conversation.
Yeah, for some odd reason, I said something nice earlier, and I happen to be the one that AI robots don't replace until I say something smart, like they don't understand sarcasm.
I, I for one, welcome. I tell you what, actually, is going to happen, Joe. Have you been following this story where the scientist thinks that's an alien spacecraft heading toward us? Have you heard about this seriously?
No, I heard about the one that they thought it was the probe or the asteroid that went by that was, but I don't know what you're talking about.
There is an object
Make it quick, I
allegedly.
gotta go parent.
I know there's an object allegedly heading toward Earth, and they do think like there is one Harvard scientist who says it's showing the signs that it could be an alien spacecraft. It could arrive in the next 11 months. And all I can think is if something should happen and I get killed in the inevitable fallout,
Right.
you feel free to replace me with an alien. And if Chad also dies, it'll just be you, AI, and an alien discussing human pop culture. I'd watch that show from the
Yeah, and the funny thing
afterlife.
is they would both be just as
Just
mean to me as you all were, if not worse. I was like, I don't understand you, glue glub, gloom glub.
yeah. Vexnar7 says that you
Oh
can
my
suck it.
God. Why don't you have a big bowl of Saturn 7 suck it?
I don't care what you say. Your Aftermash was way better than MASH.
Aftermath.
That's obscure. Anyway,
Oh
yeah.
my
So
God.
anyway, so if the aliens do invade, they have my permission to replace me on this show.
This has been Bonehead Weekly. Get better, Chad.